Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel. Welcome to another video. However, a shorter week due to a long weekend most people had also meant I had to come up with a quick idea for this week's video because I had nothing set up yet. So I figured let's do a video talking about the tools that I use to create my games, to release my games and to run my business. I did those videos before, but the last one has been over 3 or 4 years ago. And recently some tools changed. Let's just make it a fun video. Let me show you what I use to create games and run my business after the intro. Let's start with the basics. I use a Windows laptop, Acer Aspire 7, I think. Bought it in 2019. It does everything I needed to do. It's not perfect for gaming, but I don't do a lot of gaming on this device except test my own games. For working on it, it does its job. Hooked it up to an Iiyama monitor. Iiyama. Pretty cool monitor. Also have a nice Logitech keyboard, Logitech mouse and my own mouse pad. And of course for testing my games we have a nice Xbox controller. And that's pretty much my PC setup. Now I also have a MacBook 2015, recently updated to the latest Mac. Did a video on that, we'll show it somewhere on screen. But I only use it for iOS, building iOS versions. I don't really use it anymore, but I still have it. So let's move on to the software. So for programming and creating my games, I use IntelliJ. It does a lot of things I don't need. I would love like an IntelliJ Lite that removes all of the extra features that they add and that I have to turn off every time. Just allow me to simply edit my code. There might be tools that still are old-fashioned like this, but since I also use things like Gradle, Android emulation, all those things, IntelliJ has all that. So I just have to disable all the stuff I don't need, and from there on it will run perfectly fine and does everything I needed to do. Language-wise, I use Java. Just rolled into that from doing the early mobile games, which could only be done in Java, using libgdx underneath the framework, but I use like a very tiny subset. I just need audio input, graphics handling and platform support, and it also supports iOS using MobiVM, which takes your Java, turns it into iOS code magically, and then it runs on iOS. So that's the little part I use from libgdx. Everything else is custom made, my own framework. And that's how I've been creating games for a long time, and that's how I like it. There are probably better options and better ways to do it. There are many tools out there, many solutions. This is just my video, so this is the tool I use. Now to manage my source code, I use my own hosted solution, Git on a Raspberry Pi. I have a couple of Raspberry Pis, but this one now hosts my source code control. I was using Bitbucket, but they recently changed to the free tier won't allow you more than 1 gigabyte, I think, of data. All my games combined, I think we're at 5 gigabytes. Of course, I could probably trim that down a lot by just re-uploading it as a fresh repository, but I didn't want to do all that stuff. Also, I kind of like preferring to have it all in my house, on my own backup drive, and just managing all my source code myself. So I was forced to move to this, but I kind of like it now a lot more, having more control over my own source code and where it lands and sits and who has access to it. So yeah, using my own on a Raspberry Pi. Now I don't trust everything being on one location, so I have a bunch of these. This is a external hard drive, 1 terabyte. At some point these were dirt cheap. I think this brand isn't available anymore, but I have a bunch of them. Sorry, plant, I'm gonna move you a little bit. So I have a bunch of them all available to quickly hook up. This one contains all my sound effects, video files. I don't think this is used anymore, and a couple that aren't used at all, empty. But very handy to have. So yeah, a lot of them, and this one has a backup of my source code. However, my problem was, how am I gonna make sure it's updated or it synchronizes correctly? Because the sound backup drive has like 256 gigabytes of sound files. And every now and then I download a new library, or I buy a new library, or create new sound effects. I don't want to copy that whole 256 gigabytes over. Also, I don't want to track which sound is new and which isn't. So how am I gonna do that? Luckily, I found a fun tool for that, free file sync it's called, which can synchronize between 2 directories, 2 drives, whatever. So I can now download repositories of my source code once every few weeks and make sure the zipped version is on my backup drive, alongside with anything else that's important for game development and for the sound libraries. Maybe 2 times a year I can make sure they are updated without having to track all the changes myself. This tool will just do it for me. Very good tool to have. It's free. Even better. I like free tools. I'm sorry, I'm like that. Speaking of free tools, graphics. So my graphic tool has been and will probably always be GIMP. It does everything I need it to do. There are probably better tools for pixel art and other drawing and graphic things, but I like it. I'm just so used to GIMP and everything's there. It's constantly updated. Every now and then there's just a new update. They are still working on it. It's a free tool. It runs on Windows, it runs on Mac, Linux. I'm just so used to it. I can do everything in it. So I've been using it for decades and will probably use it for a few decades more. And that brings me to sound. I edit sounds every now and then, and sometimes I record sounds and things like that. For that I use Audacity. I wouldn't say simple. It has a weird interface, it has some weird things going on, but I managed to make stuff work in it. So Audacity, very simple for sound editing and recording your own sound effects. And from sound, it's another nice step to recording videos, creating trailers or other little promotional videos. And of course these YouTube videos. For that I use DaVinci Resolve, which is an amazing package. There is a paid version, but there's also a free version. And for any hobbyist or YouTuber, this tool does everything you need to do. And it does everything at the level of Hollywood movie creating. If that's what you want to try, if that's what you want to go for, color grading, everything, special effects, it's all in this package. Now most of us will not need all those things, and that's why the free version is more than enough. A lot of free tools, I know. I'm one of those guys. But if there is a free tool and open source version available, I prefer that. Alright, so what's left on the list is Nextcloud. I do prefer having everything locally on a hard drive. So my Raspberry Pi server that has all my source code is hooked up to a, I don't know, 10 terabyte hard drive, I think. But it's all downstairs. Now call me insane and crazy for this one, but I live in the Netherlands. There's like the sea, the North Sea is like 1 kilometer or less, I think, away from my house. The Netherlands, very famous for living below sea level. If anything ever happens, that stuff downstairs floods. There's no denying it, there's no avoiding it. I needed a backup up here, top floor. Pretty sure, or I kind of hope, it will never flood up here to this level, because then I'm probably drowning anyway. And it might actually be a great moment for these little fishies, or well, maybe not, or the house burns down or whatever, an offsite backup. And for that I have a Nextcloud. I was using Dropbox and Google before this, but I don't really like how those companies are going around with data and stuff. I don't know. For some weird reason I thought this just felt better. So anyway, I have an offsite backup as well. That's 3 backups of my source code, just in case. You never know. And I need to be able to update my older games just to keep making money. So it's important to have all that stuff backed up a lot. So other little things, my website runs on WordPress, but it's a very modified WordPress by me. I changed a lot of things just to make sure it works in the way I want it. A lot of that is also handled automatically by one of my Raspberry Pis, who is also running a Discord bot, who can then update things and post stuff for me depending on what I post in my Discord. A lot of things are done automatically, which I like. And for newsletters, I haven't done a lot of newsletters in the last year, but I do have a solution running that's called sandy.co, I think. I'll put it on screen just to be sure. Self-hosted newsletter, and you use Amazon SES for sending out those emails. That means if you set it up correctly, your mails don't get flagged as spam, which is good. Second, is the cheapest solution out there. I think sending out maybe 6,000 to 10,000 emails in a month is like 40 cents, roughly, something like that. It's really not a lot. And any other newsletter option out there either has a very strict limit on how many subscribers you can send to, or you'll have to pay a good amount of money for it. And especially since I don't use it that much, that would be a waste of my money. So self-hosted, it does require a little technical know-how to set it up on your own domain, and of course the right domain host that actually allows you to do those things. But if you can do it, best solution to send out newsletters very quickly. All right, that's the list. I think I covered almost, one thing, and that's my task manager. That's Trello. I've been using it for a few years now. Would love a self-hosted version somewhere, somehow, but I haven't found a good replacement for it. There are many tools out there, but most of them either add gamification to these things. I don't want gamification in my to-do list. I just want clear, clean to-do list, and also not ugly. I don't like services that, there are some services out there that self-host, but they are ugly and I don't like it. So I want something that looks pretty, because I'm looking a lot at this task manager, and I want something that's very simple and very quick. And Trello just stands above all of that for me at the moment. But if I have something self-hosted, then I would probably switch to it. All right, that's my list. So finally, why are you looking at the back of my monitor? I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. Just a messy quick video. One more tool I use a lot, almost the whole day, every day, Discord. Seeing as I'm a solo developer in one office with nobody around, every now and then I need to be able to have interaction with other people, and that's why I'm on my own Discord with a lot of fun people that are also there frequently. Every now and then there's just a lot of fun going on, and every now and then it's quiet, and that's perfect because that allows you to break up the rhythm a little bit here and there. So that's a very important tool. So yeah, that's really the tool set I have right now this year, 2025. And it's really not about the tools per se, and you should use these to have a certain result. Find the right tools that work for you and fit your work methods, and find work methods. Find a way how to work and how to make sure you are concentrated and you can keep track of things and you can back up things. And it's finding the right tools and getting comfortable with those. The scary thing is always that you put a lot of time and effort and trust in these tools, and that at any time they can completely change it in an update, or maybe they suddenly become paid. Like I've been using Bitbucket for a few years now, and then suddenly they change the payment plans, and I understand that has to happen every now and then, but that also meant for me I either was going to have to pay somebody to have my source code there, when I have so many drives available, so many disk space. I don't need to pay other people for disk space because I have that, a lot of it. I just needed a way to keep track of the changes I make, and now I'm self-hosting that on my own hard drive, or at least on a backup drive. So it's all now, I like the control factor that comes with that, having everything in control, having everything cleaned up and available. So yeah, pretty happy with the current set of tools I'm using. And it also clears up your head when you're creating games and working, that you have a certain methodology to things, and just have these tools available and know what to do and what to use. And you don't have to fight with those tools, but you can just use it and get on with the things you want to do. So that's it for this week's video, I think. Yeah, sorry, I just had to do this quick little weird video. Hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to thumbs up downstairs, like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to drop a comment below. And if you have nothing to add in the comments below, but you don't want to be one of those idle watchers like, yeah, you in the back, yeah, you, no, yeah. If you do not want to be an idle watcher, but want to help me get these videos promoted by the YouTube algorithm, then drop a comment below saying the word. I should have come up with a word. Ping pong. I don't know. I didn't have a real word for this week's video. Ping pong in the comments below. I'll see you next week's video. Bye.